The carving knife trembled in my hand, its serrated edge catching the warm glow of the chandelier above the Thanksgiving table. My sister's words hung in the air like acrid smoke from the overcooked turkey. "Stop asking for money, Alex. It's embarrassing. We're family, but you're not a charity case." Her voice, sharp and laced with that faux concern she wielded like a weapon, sliced through the murmurs of our relatives. I froze, the blade hovering over the bird's breast, feeling the heat of a dozen eyes on me. But it wasn't the accusation that gutted me. It was the lie. For 2 years I'd been the one bleeding money, quietly paying off her $52,800 credit card debt, every penny wired anonymously through a labyrinth of accounts so she wouldn't know. And here she was, painting me as the leech. The fury boiled up from my chest, hot and viscous, threatening to spill out in a scream. Instead I forced a smile, the kind that cracks at the edges, and plunged the knife in. The meat parted with a wet tear, mirroring the rip in my soul. The dining room in our parents' old Victorian house smelled of sage and tension, the wallpaper peeling slightly at the corners like secrets begging to escape. Mom's china clinked awkwardly as plates were passed, and Dad cleared his throat, his bushy eyebrows furrowing in that way that said, "Not now, kids." But it was too late. Emily, my perfect poised older sister, sat across from me, her manicured nails tapping the stem of her wine glass, lips curved in a smug half-smile. She looked every bit the successful real estate agent she pretended to be. Silk blouse, pearl earrings, hair swept back in a chignon that screamed control. I, on the other hand, was the rumpled software engineer, the one who fixed everyone's tech problems but couldn't fix my own fractured family ties. "I mean it, Alex," she continued, her tone dripping with patronizing sweetness. "You've been hitting us up for cash every few months. Dad's retirement isn't a bottomless pit." The word stung like salt in a fresh wound. She meant her and her husband, Mark, who lounged beside her, avoiding my gaze by stabbing at his mashed potatoes. But it was her debt I'd been erasing, racked up from her business expenses, the lavish client dinners, the designer clothes she claimed were investments. I discovered it by accident 2 years ago, hacking into her accounts after she begged me to fix her laptop during a visit. The numbers had stared back at me. $52,800 in red, ballooning interest, missed payments. She was drowning, and she'd never said a word. Out of some twisted sibling loyalty, maybe guilt from our childhood, where I'd always been the screw-up and she the golden child, I'd started paying it down. Small transfers at first, then larger ones as my freelance gigs picked up. I'd sacrificed vacations, eaten ramen for weeks, all while she paraded her success on social media. And now this, accusing me of mooching. I set the knife down with a clatter that echoed too loudly. "Emily," I said, my voice steady but laced with gravel, "I haven't asked for a dime in years." The lie tasted bitter, but it wasn't entirely false. I'd never asked, I'd given. Her eyes narrowed, that familiar spark of defensiveness igniting. "Oh, please. Last Christmas you needed help with rent. And before that, the car repair. It's always something." She turned to Mom, seeking alliance. "Right. He's always struggling." The humiliation burned, a slow scorch up my neck. I could feel the heat in my cheeks, the way my hands clenched under the table, nails digging into palms. Heartbreak twisted in my gut, not just from her words, but from the realization that she'd rewritten our history. In her mind, I was the perpetual failure, the one who dragged the family down. But the truth, I'd been her invisible lifeline. Resentment festered, dark and oily, pooling in my thoughts. How dare she? After everything, the late nights I'd spent coding extra hours to fund her salvation, the anxiety of keeping it secret so she wouldn't feel indebted. I'd fantasized about the reveal, a triumphant moment where I'd show her the statements, watch gratitude flood her face. But now, that dream curdled into something uglier. The meal dragged on in stifled silence, broken only by Aunt Linda's awkward compliments on the stuffing. I pushed food around my plate, the turkey tasting like ash. Inside, my mind raced, denial warring with rage. Maybe she didn't mean it that way. Maybe stress from her job, wait, no. She'd said it with intent, her eyes gleaming with that superior glint she'd honed since we were kids. Back then, she'd been the one who got straight A's, the prom queen, while I tinkered with computers in the basement, labeled the weird one. Our parents had poured resources into her. Dance lessons, college funds, leaving me to scrape by. I'd never resented it until now when it crystallized. She saw me as beneath her, unworthy even of the truth. As coffee was served, the steam curling like ghosts in the dim light, I excused myself to the bathroom. The door clicked shut, and I gripped the sink, staring at my reflection in the foggy mirror. My eyes were bloodshot, jaw tight. Fantasies flooded in, storming back out, slamming the printed bank statements on the table, watching her face crumple. Or worse, exposing her debts publicly, letting her clients know their top agent was a fraud swimming in red ink. But doubt crept in, cold and insidious. Was I the villain here? Keeping secrets, invading her privacy. Guilt gnawed at me. I'd hacked her accounts without permission, played God with her finances. Yet the obsession took root. She owed me not just money but respect. The cold resolve settled like frost on glass. I wouldn't let this slide. That night, driving home through the rain-slicked streets, wipers thumping like a heartbeat, I plotted. The city lights blurred into streaks, mirroring my swirling thoughts. First, verification. I'd log into the shadow account I'd set up, confirm the payments. $52,800 down to zero, every cent from my savings. Then the plan. Not immediate revenge. That would be sloppy. Slow, deliberate. I'd mirror her betrayal, make her feel the pinch without knowing why. Cancel the anonymous payments. No, she'd already paid it off, thinking it was some bank error or miracle. The debt was cleared last month. She'd even posted about her financial turnaround on Instagram, crediting hard work and smart choices. Bile rose in my throat. Home was a cramped apartment in the suburbs, walls thin enough to hear neighbors arguing. I slumped at my desk, the glow of dual monitors casting shadows like accusatory fingers. Fingers flying over keys, I pulled up her socials, her emails. I'd kept the backdoor access, justifying it as protection. Messages to Mark. Alex is at it again. We can't keep bailing him out. Lies upon lies. Heartbreak deepened into obsession. I scrolled through years of her posts, each one a facade. The luxury vacations funded by maxed cards. The girl boss quotes masking desperation. Sleep evaded me, replaced by fevered planning. Moral conflict raged. Revenge would make me no better than her, twisting love into hate. But the resentment won, whispering justifications. She'd humiliated me in front of family, erased my sacrifices. By dawn, the outline formed. I'd infiltrate her life digitally, subtly sabotage her success. Alter client emails, leak minor indiscretions. Nothing traceable, nothing overt. The fear thrilled and terrified. What if I got caught? Prison. But the pull was stronger, a dark gravity. Days blurred into a haze of quiet calculation. At work I coded mechanically, mind elsewhere. Emily texted once. Sorry if I was harsh. Love you, bro. The words felt hollow, a band-aid on a gaping wound. I replied neutrally, biding time. Subtle hints emerged. I accidentally forwarded an old email chain to her boss, one where she'd complained about workload. She called, voice tight. What the hell, Alex? That email, you sent it. I feigned innocence. Must be a glitch. Need me to fix your computer again. The suspicion in her pause fueled me. Tension built like storm clouds. Thanksgiving's echo lingered, every family call laced with unspoken awkwardness. Mom asked if we were okay. I lied smoothly. Inside, doubt flickered, was this worth it? But then I'd remember her smug face, and resolve hardened. I started small, tampering with her online listings, making properties appear overpriced. Clients ghosted her. Commissions dipped. She confided in a text. Business is slow. Weird. I savored the unease, the slow unraveling. One evening, as rain pattered against my window, I delved deeper. Her bank app, still accessible, showed new charges. Therapy sessions, anti-anxiety meds. Guilt stabbed sharp and unexpected. Was I breaking her? The moral grayness loomed. My revenge felt justified, yet it mirrored her cruelty. Obsession gripped tighter. I couldn't stop now. The plan escalated. Expose the debt history anonymously to her network. Let them see the fraud. But then a twist in my gut. Hidden motives surfaced in her old emails. One from years ago to a friend. Alex thinks he's helping, but I let him fix my laptop to keep him involved. Poor kid needs purpose. Manipulation. She'd known I'd find the debt. The betrayal deepened, layers peeling back. No, she couldn't have. Or could she? The suspense coiled, my heart pounding as I typed the anonymous tip. Fingers hovered over send. Fear mingled with exhilaration. This was the precipice. The email whooshed into the void, anonymous and damning. A PDF attachment detailing Emily's credit history, the $52,800 abyss she'd clawed from, sent to her top clients and boss. No sender trace, routed through proxies I'd built in sleepless nights. I leaned back in my chair, the apartment's hum of the fridge the only sound, my pulse thundering in my ears. Cold resolve had carried me here, but now guilt crashed in waves. What if this destroyed her? Her marriage, her career. The moral conflict raged fiercer. She deserved it, yet I felt like a monster, twisting the knife I'd once used to save her. Morning light filtered through blinds, striping the floor like prison bars. I checked my phone, no messages. Work was a blur, code lines swimming before my eyes. Fantasies plagued me. Her face crumpling as clients called, Mark's confusion, the family's shock. But doubt whispered, had I gone too far? Revenge wasn't sweet. It was acidic, eating at my core. I paced the office break room, coffee burning my tongue, remembering childhood. Emily defending me from bullies, sharing her allowance when I had none. Was that the real her, buried under ambition? The first sign came at lunch. A frantic call. Alex. Everything's falling apart. Her voice cracked, a vulnerability I'd rarely heard. Clients are bailing, saying I hid financial issues. How do they know? Suspense tightened like a noose. I feigned concern. What issues? She hesitated, breath hitching. Old debt. It's paid now, but... Someone leaked it. Suppressed rage simmered in her tone, suspicion lurking. You fixed my computer. Did you see anything? Denial surged. No, Em. Why would I? But inside, fear bloomed. Had I left traces? The conversation dragged, her words revealing cracks. Mark's furious. Thinks I lied to him too. Manipulation echoed in my mind. Had she played me all along? I ended the call, hands shaking. The slow burn ignited. Tension escalated as I monitored her socials. Posts vanished, profile locked. Whispers from family. Aunt Linda texted. Heard Emily's in trouble. You okay? Obsession consumed me. Nights blurred into surveillance, hacking deeper into her world. Emails to therapists. Feeling betrayed. Family secrets coming out. Guilt twisted. I was the betrayer now. Moral grayness enveloped everything. My actions, once justified, felt obsessive, unhinged. Yet resentment fueled on. She'd humiliated me, erased my sacrifices. I planned the next strike. Alter her bank records subtly, trigger an audit. But as I coded the script, a notification pinged. An email from her, forwarded accidentally. No, intentional. Alex, I know it was you. The subject line chilled me. Body. The payments, they trace back to your IP. Why? And now this leak. Heartbreak flooded. She'd discovered the anonymous wires. How? I'd been careful. Panic set in, room spinning. I called her, voice steady despite the storm. What are you talking about? The dialogue unfolded like a thriller script, tension crackling over the line. Don't lie, she snapped, voice raw. I hired a PI after the leaks. The debt payments, your accounts. You spied on me, paid it off without asking. That's creepy, Alex. Invasive. Rage boiled. Creepy. I saved you. You were drowning and you never thanked me. Hell, you accused me of mooching. Silence stretched heavy. Then softly. I knew you'd find it. I left the laptop unlocked on purpose. Thought you'd tell mom and dad, force them to help. But you took it on yourself. Why? The revelation hit like a gut punch. Manipulation confirmed. She'd used me as a pawn, expecting family bailout, but I'd shouldered it alone. Heartbreak layered with fury. You let me bleed for you, then shamed me at Thanksgiving? Her response, tear-choked. I was ashamed. Didn't want you to know how bad it was. But humiliating you. That was wrong. I'm sorry. Sorry. Too late. Cold resolve fractured, doubt flooding. Was this her truth, or more lies? The call ended in stalemate, suspense peaking. I stared at the screen, moral conflict at its zenith. Continue the sabotage or stop. But obsession won. I sent the audit trigger, anonymous flags to her bank. Days tensed like a bowstring. Emily's world unraveled visibly. Social media silent, calls from mom. She's losing everything. Help her, Alex. Guilt gnawed, vivid nightmares of her broken. Yet poetic justice loomed, she'd feel my pain. The climax struck at a family emergency meeting, convened at the old house. Rain lashed windows, thunder rumbling like judgment. Emily sat hollow-eyed, Mark absent. He'd left, citing lies. Dialogue erupted. You did this, she accused, eyes blazing. The leaks, the audit calls. Denial faltered, I confessed partially. I paid your debt. You threw it in my face. Relatives gasped, secret spilling. But the twist, as tempers flared, she revealed more. I didn't ask for your help because I was paying it myself. Slowly. Your payments. They overlapped mine. The bank refunded duplicates to you, but you never noticed. Shock jolted me, I checked accounts, refunds hidden in transfers. She'd been fighting too, pride silencing her. My salvation was redundant, my invasion pointless. Humiliation reversed. I'd been the fool, obsessing over a half-truth. Revenge backfired, destroying us both. She stood, voice cold. You wanted justice? Here's yours, we're done. She left, door slamming. In the aftermath, alone in the storm, resentment dissolved into regret. The payoff, poetic, yes. My betrayal mirrored hers, leaving scars. But the unexpected consequence. I stared into the rain, resolve shattered, wondering if forgiveness was possible. The end, not triumphant, but hauntingly real.